Tico Deanery in the Diocese of Boya welcomes 202 members into the church. The pupils and students from Catholic schools in that deanery were confirmed today by His Lordship Michael Bibi. As the second building of the Bishop Pius Awa Memorial Pastoral Center takes shape, the project team, through a meeting held earlier today, has resolved to speed up work to meet up the deadline given by the proprietor of projects in the Diocese of Boya, and a balance sheet of the first phase of the universal health coverage of the Regional Delegation of Public Health for the Southwest region has been unveiled to the media in Boya today through a press conference, and health officials say they are already witnessing a pass mark. Hello there, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for being part of this Tuesday, the 23rd of April 2024 edition of Divine Mercy Prime on DMR TV Live in Boya, Cameroon. Those were our news headlines. We'll be back with the full newscast. You're welcome back to tonight's newscast. We start in the Diocese of Boya, where 202 pupils and students of 9 Catholic schools in the Tico Deanery of the Diocese of Boya have received the sacrament of confirmation, with a call for them to follow Christ as their example, obey His voice, and love one another. This was during a Eucharistic celebration that took place today at Christ the King Parish in Movange, Tico Deanery of the Diocese of Boya, presided at by His Lordship Michael Bibi, the Bishop of the Diocese of Boya. Me Nadesh went with the Bishop to Tico today and came back with this report.
The Eucharistic celebration that held at Christ the King Parish Movange Tico brought together pupils, students, staffs, and Christians of Tico Deanery to commune with their Chief Shepherd, His Lordship Michael Bibi. The Mass witnessed the administration of the Blessed Sacrament of Confirmation to about 202 students and Christians of the community.
Confirmation strengthens our bond with the Church and associate us more closely with the mission of the Church. Confirmation helps us bear witness to the Christian faith in our words and in our deeds. Confirmation, like baptism, imprints a spiritual mark or an indelible character on the Christian soul. For this reason, one can receive confirmation only once in one's lifetime.
During his homily, His Lordship Michael Bibi made emphasis on the significance of confirmation, which is divided into 3 essential parts: renewal of baptismal promises, laying up of hands, and anointing with chrism. He further beckons on the students and pupils to follow Christ's example and obey His voice as it initiates them into the Christian life.
During the renewal of our baptismal promises, we profess our faith in God who is Trinity. We must ask ourselves always, which voices do I listen to? Which voice am I following? Where do the voices I listen to lead me? If a voice we listen to is not the voice of Jesus, the Good Shepherd, who leads us to holiness, to the love of God and the love of our neighbor, if it is not a voice which leads us to work hard and to study hard, if it is not a voice which leads us to be obedient to our teachers, if it is not a voice which directs us to apply ourselves diligently in our work and not cheat the system, then we must say no to that voice.
some students who received the sacrament of confirmation, which gives them the Holy Spirit and strengthened their bond to the church, expressed their joy and gratitude for this significant milestone. To some, this confirmation marks a pivotal role in their lives with Christ.
I'm from St. Joseph Mutengene Catholic School. I received confirmation today. I feel relief and good, and I'm good that I received confirmation. I'm very happy today for the confirmation that I have received. So I want to thank the Bishop so much for what he has done to us.
I feel very relief from all my sins, and I feel very happy. I received confirmation, and I know that I'm receiving the Holy Spirit.
I feel very good when I receive the sacrament of confirmation. It is good because you get closer to Jesus in the Spirit, and you are always close to the church. You always pray. So I know that you can pray for yourself for God to keep on guiding you.
According to the teachings of the doctrine of the Roman Catholic Church, these pupils and students have been equipped as they follow his exemplary life, obey his voice, and turn away from sins.
Nadesh May with that report there from Tiko, and she tells us that in the course of that Eucharistic celebration, that was at CKP in Movange Tiko, the pupils, students and staff of those 9 schools came together, put some resources in cash and kind to support their bishop in what is commonly known as the Cathedraticum. Let us have details in this report.
During this confirmation mass, schools and colleges of Tiko Dennery showcased their unity with their bishop, His Lordship Michael Bibi, by supporting him through this practice known as Cathedraticum. Reverend Father Vincent Mesue is the Catholic Education Secretary of the Diocese of Boya. He contextualizes this practice and reads the engagement of schools in supporting the bishop through this Cathedraticum.
I'm very impressed with this whole attitude that they are, cultivating, knowing that it is their duty to support their bishop. Human beings were supposed to be grateful to God all the times, the very fact that maybe God has given you this day is an opportunity for you to say thank God, thank you to God. And so our everyday living is a testimony of the great love that God has for us, and which we need to reciprocate by saying thank you.
With the massive turnout of this institution of Tiko Dennery, the Dean, Reverend Father Armstrong Ndi, who doubles as the parish priest of St. Martin the Porres Parish, Likumba, gives his appraisal concerning the student constant support to their proprietor, especially in his pastoral works in the diocese.
It's a tradition in the diocese that parishes, institutions, deaneries, and all the Christians will support the bishop to promote common pastoral action, for him to carry out projects in the diocese. So it is a normal thing for us as a deanery to support our bishop.
At the end of the celebration, His Lordship Michael Bibi heartily thanked the students, staffs, and the Christian community for their support for the growth of the Boya Diocese.
To each and every one of you present here, for the great sacrifices you all make daily to contribute to the spiritual and the material growth of our diocese. I am always moved by your demonstration of faith. May God continue to bless and reward all your good work and all the efforts you put in for the growth of our diocese.
It should be noted that the next gathering is set for schools and colleges in Moliko Dinari, that is on the 30th of April 2024 at the Divine Mercy Co-Cathedral.
Now we talk something else. Projects. The members of the project committee of the Diocese of Buea have reached many measures to ensure that they complete the second building of the Bishop Pius Awa Memorial Pastoral Center on the due date that was given to them. The members had a meeting this Tuesday, April 23rd, 2024 at the Pastoral Center, and the meeting was chaired by the Diocesan Project Coordinator, Pierre Enes Chinda. Let us have details in this report with Joseph Otto.
As a means to see the timely completion of the second building of the Bishop Pius Awa Memorial Pastoral Center, the Diocesan Project Coordinator and Architect, together with other engineers, converged on the Pastoral Center Hall this April 23, 2024 to discuss on measures needed to speed up the work. With every project having its own lapses, those concerned with this project voiced their challenges as concerns the project, which in turn was adequately addressed by the chairpersons, thereby planning to forge ahead in the aspects of construction, plumbing, welding, and wiring. While assuring a successful completion, there are measures which have been put in place to ensure it.
We have had a meeting with all the head people of the different services, like the foreman of the construction, the foreman of electrical work, the foreman of the plumbing work. So we have had a meeting with them. We have tried to come up with an organigram on the duration which they have to put in place to also have a check. So by each time, when each of those activities not being made, we call their attention towards it. So we are trying to put in place that by the 20th, we'll try to catch up with the deadline.
Meanwhile, the project team is confident for the timely completion of this second building.
I can only say I will be confident when all the material are in place. For now, the date is not a problem for me. If all the material are in place, I think by the 20th, everything will be finished. All the workers are in place. Everything is in place as concerning the worker. Everybody is there to do what is necessary. The tilers are there. I have more than 16 tilers. The builder are there for the dressing. The carpenters are there. Painter will come in by the end of this week. Painter will start work.
With the assurance and the level of work in progress, they just have little things, and just to be cautious and be serious about their work, it's possible for them to make it ahead to do the finishing before that 20th event.
When everything is said and done, it is hoped that the second building of the Pastoral Center would be at completion come May 20, 2024.
Out of the Diocese of Buea now to Kumba, where in a bid to strengthen marital unity between spouses, the Family Life Apostolate of that diocese has held a 3-day marriage enrichment seminar bringing together 13 couples. The group of couples have been christened the Good Shepherd Batch. The seminar took place from the 19th, that's Friday the 19th, to Sunday the 21st of April 2024, and it took place at the Kumba Pastoral Center. Let us have details of this with Reverend Father Alphonse Ekema.
Here at the Kumba Diocesan Pastoral Center, the Family Life Apostolate hosts 13 couples drawn from 6 parishes within the diocese for a marriage enrichment seminar. Talking with the couple coordinators of the apostolate in Kumba, they highlight the purpose of this seminar in the lives of couples.
So marriage enrichment are program where when couples they don't get married, when people they don't get married, they need them so that they give for the heart water for that their marriage. They need for move other things away to go make would disturb that their marriage, make it not grow well. Yeah, so for marriage enrichment, it try for enrich that their marriage. It try for give them certain tips and for make them they live well in their marriage. Yeah, they say there's no perfect marriage, but everybody would just strive. Everybody is just struggle for at least for be good, for be fine inside marriage. Certain things in like forgiveness, like no secrets, and many others. So they come together, we get that experience, we learn more, we get experience from other old couples. And so without to, at least it encourage our own various marriages and to for growth.
Amongst them were couples who have lived together for 40 years, as well as those still completing their second year in holy matrimony, who profited from the shared experiences of the moment.
This weekend, we thank God for this enrichment weekend because it has helped us from the experiences we had, people sharing. We came across people who have lived 40 years in marriages and they are still there, like people who started yesterday. So it's some sort of a booster to us, telling us that if they could reach there, then we'll be there someday. So we just pray by the grace of God and with all the lessons that we have learned to make our marriage sweet, then we'll be there someday and we'll be celebrating 40, why not 50, 60, 70, and centenary anniversary as couples. So we thank God for this weekend.
Some recount the benefits of this seminar in marriages, praising the facilitators for a job well done.
Words cannot express our experiences enough because it has been so wonderful. I never regretted of taking part in this marriage enrichment seminar. It has been so wonderful. It's like everything has been made anew in our union for the past 18 years. It has been so wonderful. The various topics treated, the resource persons has been so wonderful. Father Blessed and the others, it's like we are beginning anew in this great union, and we thank God for the various experiences gathered. They have been so wonderful. I wish many more couples took part.
As is customary to name each batch that partakes at a marriage enrichment seminar of this sort, this batch of 13 has been named the Good Shepherd batch, and at their closing mass, the couples sing together imploring God's blessings upon them to bind them in a forever inseparable bond of love.
Right, now on to something else out of the church. Health officials in the Southwest region say they have scored high in their report card for the universal health coverage in the region just 1 year after it was launched. The health officials were speaking today at a press conference at the Regional Delegation of Public Health for the Southwest region here in Boya. During the press conference, they equally presented a balance sheet for the first phase of that project. Aloysius Lekier from our newsroom was part of that press conference and now summarizes the achievements of the Regional Delegation of Public Health in the Universal Health Coverage Plan. Let us get more in this report.
The universal health coverage was adopted by the government of Cameroon to empower individuals and communities to take action for their health and that of their families. The aim is to strengthen the country's health care systems at little or no cost. The first phase of the universal health coverage was launched in the Southwest region on the 23rd of April 2023. For 1 year, there has been groundbreaking success in the various packages covered by the health coverage, as the region has recorded numerous improvements towards illnesses such as HIV, tuberculosis, malaria, especially with children 0 to 5 years old. Dr. Eko Philbert, regional delegate for the Southwest region, says the region has achieved great strides in its coverage of the universal health coverage.
With respect to all the circumstances of the Southwest region, I think we are very satisfied. We are still to achieve the 60% of our global target. But as of the 60% target that we are more than 80%. So we think that we are doing a lot. The socio-political, the security challenges that we have are impeding most of our activities in certain areas. But we are developing mitigating factors, circumstances, and situations to see how to achieve and, of course, to attain the target before 2025.
Since its launching, the universal health coverage has so far covered 85,000 children 0 to 5 years old, 82% of those living with HIV, 100% of those with tuberculosis, and over 700,000 treated free of charge of malaria, with a great majority of those undergoing dialysis covered. The delegate has a strong call to the population to make use of this great opportunity.
My first message to the public is that universal coverage phase 1 is a reality. Many persons are benefiting. Don't be Thomas. But if you want to be Thomas, it is very good that you can try it. Do your enrollment, go to any of our facilities. We said all government facilities from Integrated Health Center, subdivisional hospitals or CMAs, and district hospitals, children 0 to 5 are consulted free of charge. And if they are suspected for malaria, the diagnosis is free. If they are diagnosed of malaria, the treatment is free. It means you can take your child to a facility, and in the entry right to the going out of the facility, you don't disburse a franc. Instead of persons to take their children first when they have fever and go and buy roadside medications, that they will spend 150 francs, 200 francs, they should go and consult free of charge. Because when they go and consult late, that is when they will be forced to disburse some amount, because the complications are not managed in the program. If you have anemia, you need to pay for anemia drugs. If they need to transfuse you, you need to pay for transfusion. But if you go when it's early, the treatment all will be anti-malaria treatment and will be free of charge. So that's why we're encouraging the community.
The coverage has so far faced few challenges such as network issues in some areas, accessing hard-to-reach areas, and full sensitization. It should be recalled that the universal health coverage is carried out only in district hospitals across the country, a way by the government to encourage the population to make use of these health units.
From health, we talk human rights this time around, where none of governmental organizations in the Northwest and the Southwest regions have resolved to effectively implement resolutions that will enhance the protection of persons or the rights of persons within these regions. They took the commitment after a 2-day conference held here in Buea over the weekend, marking the 75th anniversary of the United Nations Declaration of Human Rights. Let us have details in this report. On December 10, 1948, the United Nations General Assembly adopted the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Over the past 75 years, member states, non-governmental organizations, businesses, and United Nations entities have taken significant measures to improve the situation of people worldwide. Cameroon is one country that has faced its own share of challenges in the struggle, from the crisis in the far north region with Boko Haram to the recent conflict in the northwest and southwest region. Many people have suffered violations of their human rights. The Human Rights 75 initiative provides an opportunity for human rights defenders and civil society actors to assess progress made and propose better plans of monitoring and implementing human rights. Over the course of these 2 days, various NGOs from the northwest and southwest regions have worked diligently to gain knowledge in different areas of human rights intervention. They have also reached consensus on 6 key resolutions and action plans to push for state interventions. Fonyo Kiven, Human Rights Officer at the United Nations for Central Africa Sub-Region, feels it has been a satisfactory training.
This is something that you don't see everywhere. This kind of engagement, this kind of commitment, you don't see it everywhere. And I think that the civil society organizations in the Northwest and Southwest, they deserve credit for really ensuring that they work on very legal grounds. And I can only say thank you to the CSOs that gathered here for these 2 days to review the Human Rights 75 pledges made by the government of Cameroon and chart a way for supporting and monitoring the implementation of these pledges.
The main objective is to connect these NGOs and enable them implement grassroots actions effectively in order to defend the human rights of all individuals. Josephine Nsono, founder of Pears Foundation in the Northwest region, and Dr. Beatrice Titanji, CEO of Women's Guild for Empowerment and Development, WOJEC, are part of the NGOs and few accomplished as they have moved a step towards the pledges.
We were discussing on the Maputo Protocol. Given that we have other organizations that are interested in the Maputo Protocol, we would have worked together. So it has been helpful because we now know who is doing what where and we can be able to work with them.
The 6-point action plan that we've taken It's not something that can be done tomorrow. So as the time goes on, we've given ourselves 4 years, and we are going to do regular retreats.
On the 75th anniversary of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the international community calls for unity to revitalize the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and demonstrate how it can address the needs of recent times while upholding its promise of freedom, equity, and justice for all. That report there brings us to the end of Divine Mercy Prime this evening. But before we go, let us have a recapitulation of stories that were top in this newscast. We started in Tico, where we told you that the Tico Deanery has welcomed 202 members into the church. The pupils and students from 9 Catholic schools in that deanery here in the Diocese of Boya were confirmed today by His Lordship Michael Bibi, Bishop of Boya. Now, as the second building of the Bishop Pius Awa Memorial Pastoral Center takes shape, the project team, through a meeting held earlier this Tuesday, has resolved to speed up work to meet up with the deadline given by the proprietor of the project in this diocese. And a balance sheet of the first phase of the universal health coverage of the Regional Delegation of Public Health in the Southwest region has been unveiled to the media in Boya today through a press conference. We want to thank you very much for taking time to watch this newscast. Follow us again tomorrow in the morning at 7:30 for Divine Mercy Info, when we will be able to bring to you more stories. Meantime, at 8 p.m. we are going to have Divine Mercy Prime, but this time around on the radio service of DMR TV. Thank you for watching. Good night.